Hi, Soul Family. This is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to the September 20th, Wednesday, new moon in Virgo reading. A little bit of astrology. This is the new moon, which occurs at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 20th, which is a Wednesday. It's in the fourth quarter, the fourth portion of Virgo. And like literally later in the day, it will be moving into Libra. Um, on a new moon, it's the seed day. So in terms of setting intentions, this is the day that you would set them. The following 8 days, from the 21st to the 28th, are the balsamic phase. These are known as the compost phase, meaning feeding your seed. Okay, so if you set an intention or you start a goal or you start something along those lines for the new moon, right, you set that intention on that day, that planting of the seed, then the balsamic portion where you're composting or feeding that seed would be from the 21st through the 28th, 8 days. What else can I tell you? The 21st also is Rosh Hashanah and the Islamic New Year, if you follow Abrahamic traditions. And then for us wild pagan folk, it's the Mabon or fall equinox on the 22nd, Friday. Some other astrological aspects of note. We will have the North Node in retrograde again by this time. So the North Node is in Leo still and is retrograde at this point. It goes direct and retrograde and direct and retrograde this month. But at the time of the new moon, it will be retrograde. So again, revisiting. We also have Mercury, who is direct as of that date and in Virgo. Still some other important planets that are in retrograde at the moment. Venus is in, a day after will enter Virgo from Leo. Venus will enter Virgo. And let's see. Saturn is direct and in Sag still. Jupiter, of course, is direct and in Libra still. Mars is in Leo. Nope, sorry. Mars will be in Virgo at the time of the new moon. Uranus is still retrograde in the sign of Aries. Pisces is still retrograde Neptune is still retrograde in the sign of Pisces. Pluto is still retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, but does go direct, which is a big deal, on the 28th. Yes. And then Chiron is still retrograde in Pisces, so we're still going over things that hurt us. That's okay. So just trying to make this as quick as possible with the astrology. We'll get straight into the reading. I'm going to be using the Thoth deck for the reading, and I will be doing a supernal pull, so it's the first 3 sephira of the 3 cards, the first 3 sephira of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, or the first 3 placements of the Kemetic Tree of Life, or this would be the first, the 3 presences of mind, the superconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious mind. We'll pull for each of those. I've got oracle cards and runes if need be for clarification. Just a couple more here. All right, for our collective soul family, what does God, Source, and Spirit, our highest source, the highest mind, want us to know? Maybe not something we're consciously thinking of, but we need to be aware of this in order to make life's journey and to make the collective move to the North Node at this time in Leo. Autonomy, creativity, self-expression, and love from the heart. All right. Queen of Cups in reverse. This is the Cancer card. We got it in reverse. That's the low octave of Cancer. Tends to be a clinging to relationships. So this may be a time for us to consider, and again, this is super conscious talking to us, God source, Keter, or Amenasur, depending upon which tree you follow. There are many trees, not just those two, but those are the ones I mentioned. You're having a tendency to hold on to relationships because you think they bring you security, or relationships that really aren't serving you. Perhaps they're toxic relationships. This is the low octave of Cancer, is holding on for dear life even when it's not good to hold on anymore. Okay, we're being asked to not fall into this pattern, to be aware when something has run its course and when it's time to exit, for our own good and for the good of those that we love. Okay, that's super conscious. That's God's source. What's on our mind? It's a collective soul, North Node in Leo, retrograde at the time of this new moon as we're revisiting things as it relates to our soul's progression collectively. What do we need to know? We got the Five of Wands, which is strife. So fives are kind of an imbalanced number. Let's see. It's fire. So it's like, what this is kind of talking about here is having a lot of goals going on at one time. So if you notice, there are different types of wands from different levels of adepthood in the Golden Dawn system. I don't remember all of them, but you've got one that's a lotus, you've got one that's, what is that, a Anubis, something like that, and then the Caduceus. But they're all different levels of adepthood. And they're all kind of clashing. This is Saturn in Leo. So it's like a lot of activity, a lot of fiery energy, a lot of expression, but it's not really going anywhere. If you notice that big wand, the Caduceus wand in the middle, it's kind of stopping everything. Everything's kind of bumping up against each other, and there's no traction made. There's no progress made. So we're being asked to be, aware of that. This could be what's on our mind. We might feel stuck. It might, and because it's wands, I'm tending to think that we're stuck on projects. There's a lot of things that we want to accomplish. I have a feeling that there's an overall collective idea that there's time is running out. Like there's really time, like we're running out of time. Like everybody's running out of time. And we're stressing and pushing to make things happen, and really this pushing, this active movement for something that's not meant to move at this time it's really a lot of energy wasted because that Saturn is stopping it. All those wands, they're not making stability, they're not making traction, they're not making movement. It's just stopped. It's causing agitation and irritation. That's probably what we're feeling. But I really get this feeling, this vibe that we have this thinking that we're running out of time. We're racing, like we're all racing to a certain point to meet something, and I'm not sure what that is. All right, let's see what subconscious has to say. Deep waters of the subconscious. What little hints might we be picking up on? Images, symbols, dreams, colors, scents, sounds, songs, those things that pop up. What are we missing, perhaps? Should be we watching out for? All right, so this is the Peace card in reverse. So it's the Two of Swords, which are thoughts, in reverse. Peace generally in the upright position would mean something along the lines of perhaps a stalemate, being kind of stuck between two ways of thinking, two schools of thought, two concepts. One we may not be aware that we are. And honestly, I think it has something to do with whatever these relationships that we're holding on to that are actually not serving us anymore, that are toxic to us. I think that we are being called to, and this might be related to this as well, because what it is it's energy, right? Air, swords are air energy, so that's thought and logic, and it's like you're on the non-moving end of two schools of thought or two ways of thinking, but you're not making any traction. You're not making a decision. Okay. Over here, we're exerting a lot of effort with a lot of different concepts and a lot of different projects, but we're not getting anywhere because everything's clashing. A lot of energy spent not getting anywhere. And then lastly here, we're looking at relationships where we are kind of holding on to things and putting our all into things that it might be a lost cause. I'm going to get clarification here because I really think these two are speaking to this. It feels like relationships. It is the low octave of Cancer. So I think I am going to pull from the runes. I'm going to pull from the Witch's runes on this one. Can I get clarification, please, on the Queen of Cups in reverse as God's source message to the soul family? All right, the Sun. It could be the Star. I can't quite remember. Yeah, it's the Star. And like the Star card, it's ruled by Uranus and Venus. It's interesting. It has to do with highest goals and dreams. It has big impact. It has to do with things that impact the way we're viewed by others. So let me read that again. It's ruled by Uranus and Venus. So Venus is love, okay? And we know we're kind of dealing with love with the Queen of Cups. Any kind of love, agape love, familial love, romantic love. And then Uranus being the unpredictable energy. And I think what we're talking about here is we're very concerned about how we're going to be perceived by others, which is what the Star is talking about here. And because of that concern about the perception of us by others, we're forgetting the fact that we have no control over what this other party is doing. Okay? The love is there. Venus is there. It's Cancer, the mother, the lover, right? The one who likes to build a family and build the people she loves or he loves around them. But in reverse, it's the low octave of Cancer, not knowing when to let something go, not knowing when to release. If you love something, let it go. And with the Uranus element here with the Star rune, I really think it's looking at the fact that you cannot control what the other parties are doing, and you have to relinquish this tight hold, the tight hold that's not serving you. If these are projects and are, I think they're related to this because I don't think they're projects. I think these are relationships that you're desperately trying to, what's the word? Stoke the flames on, get it working, get it burning again, and it's not happening. Because you do not have control over what the other party is doing. And so there's a decision that needs to be made here. It may be an ultimatum we need to deliver to the other parties that are not fulfilling us the way we expect to, and which we should have naturally. And we're delaying this decision, but you can't delay it. It's a decision that needs to happen because for our soul's growth, we're being advised by Spirit that no longer should we hold on to these negative relationships. Doesn't mean being cold. It just means that we're exerting a whole lot of energy on it and we're not getting anywhere with it. It could be more than one relationship. It could be a type of relationship that we're desperately trying to hold on to. And I know that we're kind of brought up in a Judeo-Christian, Abrahamic, Western way of thinking where we always put the other first. And there's logic to that. Serving others is definitely part of the experience, the human, the sentient life experience. But there's a folly to that in that it's kind of like that adage when you go on the airplane, you put the mass of oxygen on yourself first before you put it on your child. As selfish as that sounds, it's your child, right? You're going to be of no good to someone else if you're completely depleted of energy. are drained of love or drained of resources. So a decision needs to be made. I think that subconsciously we know this. We're getting signals about it. And now we're focusing our attention here on that it's relationship oriented. Lots of running in place, worried about what everyone's going to think based upon what decisions we make. So, like, so for example, this is a child that is a drug addict, or a partner that is a drug addict, someone that we love. It may be time to cut them loose. It may be time to do that because you're not serving them, and you're definitely not serving you. You're depleting yourself. We are depleting ourselves. Okay, I think that about covers it. Now, if you have questions on the reading, if something wasn't clear or you want some clarification on one of the positions or cards, by all means leave the question in the comments section below, or you can email me at mimimemes@hotmail.com. On that note, if you would like a personal reading, feel free to email me at mimimemes@hotmail.com. That email address is in the description box below this video, and we can set up a time for a personal reading. They're all reasonably priced in different time frames and different levels. And they always have question and answers available during the process, so it's an interactive process. All right, happy new moon to everyone. We're constantly refining ourselves, and the luminaries, like the new moon, allowing us to plant seeds of intention and grow those seeds. You know, it's a miracle every 28 days. All right, love you all. Take care.